James 4:8 says, "Draw near to God, and He will draw near to you." When I first came to John Knox, one of my very first mission trips, we went to Keansburg, New Jersey. And John Schwartz and I were driving along 80, having a great old time. I think I might have been a little bit stressed about it was my first mission trip, but I was also really excited. And at some point, I accidentally navigated John for us to get onto 76 instead of 80. So we were not going towards New Jersey. We were going towards somewhere else entirely. And it took us a little while to realize we were going in the wrong direction. But in order to get back on track, to get to New Jersey, we needed to pause. We needed to look at a map. I needed to acknowledge I needed to reorient myself. We needed to figure out how to get back to 80 and back to New Jersey. And eventually we did, and we had a great mission trip. But I'm not sure John always feels confident riding in a car with me anymore. Well, I'd like us to think of our pandemic experience as a little bit like that trip. So many of us have been on a journey. We've been a little bit stressed. We might have found some ways to have fun, but we've been engaging in habits this year and reacting to things as they've gone along. And now we've come to Lent. And Lent is an opportunity to reorient ourselves from those patterns. Lent is a time that brings invitation to reorient ourselves to God. It's both a turning away. I had to turn away from going to the East Coast, a little bit south of where I should have been, and it's a turning towards. I had to turn towards New Jersey, but in this case, we're turning towards God because we know that if we draw near to God, He will draw near to us. So as we think about a spiritual movement towards God, we can think of this as an invitation to a deeper life of faith and a deeper awareness of who God is in our own life. But it takes a pause. It takes an evaluation. Sometimes it takes a conversation with a friend, like my conversation with John. All of us have something we need to turn away from, habits that we've developed this year in a reaction to what's been happening. And all of us have things we can turn towards as we're turning towards getting closer to God. At John Knox, we have several activities we would love for you to participate into. First of all, we have our Ash Wednesday service. This service will dig deeper into what is our intention for Lent and how can we have an intentionality of getting closer to God during this time. Throughout Lent, there'll be opportunities for classes. There'll be opportunities for devotions on Wednesdays that will walk us through Lent, ending with the culmination in Easter. We'd love for you to participate in one of those. Getting closer to God sometimes can be so precious in community. But we also invite you to pause. What is there you could do personally to reorient yourself to God during this time? Sometimes it's letting go of a habit, and sometimes it's adding something in. A moment of pause at the beginning of the day can be so simple, and yet it can change our orientation to allow us to notice God throughout our day. We invite you during this time of Lent to draw closer to God because He will draw close to you. Remember, you are not alone. God cares about you, and so do we.